Let's get into it.
So I want to do something real fast for our listeners. Walk through our morning routine, skincare routine.
You want me to start? Yeah, because it's going to take a minute only.
All right, why don't you go?
Okay, okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to Chocolate and Spice Talk. I am Neha, the co founder of this initiative where we highlight current societal challenges across technology, health, wellness, identity, family, career, and much, much more.
Hey everyone, I'm Nidhi. We both are engineers and MBAs, and we have spent our careers in tech. We are moms, and we do not shy away from talking about hard things.
Exactly. And we're both in our 40s and have spent quite some time thinking about our skin and how to take care of it. So today, drumroll, we're talking about skincare. Skincare is a $122 billion industry, and I'm sure it's growing larger by the minute. And it's built on selling us things we did not know we needed. So we are going to walk through what actually works, what we want to try, where we have landed on procedures, and we're going to have a real conversation and a 5 question exercise you can do tonight to design your own routine without the marketing noise.
And one quick note before we get in, we are not dermatologists and we are not selling you anything. We are just two sisters sharing our own stories and our own journey. Our skin is very different. Our routines could not be more different. So hopefully, one of us sounds a little like you and you can take the words from where you are. All right,
Okay,
let's get into
let's
it.
go. Let's get into
Okay. So I want to do something real fast for our listeners, and I want us to walk through our morning routine, skincare routine, just the morning in real time. So get a sense. Everybody gets a sense of how different we are.
You want me to start? Yeah, because it's going to take a minute only.
All right, why don't you go?
Okay, okay. It's because Nidhi and I have a completely different methodology towards skincare. And as I talk about my morning routine, it reflects that. So essentially, I believe in simplicity and as few routines as possible. And my morning involves, if just talking about the skin, getting up, washing my face, and I use a face wash. I've forgotten the name of the face wash, but a very simple moisturizing face wash. And then I just put sunscreen. That's it.
Okay.
I also put some lip balm, like Vaseline kind of thing. Yeah.
So before I go into my routine, one thing that is stands out about you is you actually wash your face with a cleanser in the morning.
I do. Yes. That is a routine I built for myself. Also, I've always done it, honestly, always. But also more so now because, as I'm more getting into perimenopausal, I sweat at night and, it might have residues all over my face. So I have realized just washing my face. And it's not like it's a very harsh cleanser. It's the softest, and I'm forgetting the name. It's the softest, simplest cleanser you could get. And I just wash it with that. And that's it. Pat dry and then apply sunscreen.
Yeah, because mine is very different. I do wash my face, like double cleanse my face at night, but in the morning, I don't use any cleanser.
Oh.
So I just splash my face with ice water. So I've talked about my dunking my face in ice water. So I do that. It wakes me up, depuffs me, and I'm committed to the cold for sure. Next step is toner. And then I put some eye cream. Then I use vitamin C. And then there is a moisturizer. And then there is a sunscreen, and then I spend a couple of minutes with a red light.
Are you for real?
Oh, yeah, but this is
I did
only
not know that.
yeah.
I just, what, like this is how people live, right? Whatever they do, they think the whole world must be doing that.
And your
So,
own sister has elaborated.
because every time I visit you, I probably miss all of
Yeah,
the
you
things that
don't see me doing that in my.
so, first of all, like cold water dunking, I'm excited for you that you do it because I use lukewarm water. I cannot do cold water and they don't go well with
It
me.
does. I mean, I don't think your face has that water retention or that puffiness. I don't know. My face is naturally dry, and I feel like it does is very puffy in the morning. So when
Hmm.
I dunk it, or I also have like a ice roller that I use if I don't have that kind of time, and I just feel like it helps, depuff my face much more in the morning, and that helps. But yeah, this is my routine, like eye cream for sure, and then vitamin C, then sunscreen, then a moisturizer, then red light, and then after that, if I'm going out, then I have another layer of sunscreen, and then but if I'm just at home, I put like a little bit of tinted moisturizer and get my day started.
That's amazing. I have always, for me, like because I use a very moisturizing thick sunscreen, I do not want to put anything under it, any further moisturizer, because my sunscreen is my moisturizer. Like that's the sunscreen I buy. That is a moisturizing sunscreen. And then I always worry if I put anything else on my face, will it impact sunscreen's
Absorption.
validity? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how strong is my sunscreen gonna be or not gonna be? So I worry so much about it that I'm like, I'm just gonna use sunscreen. But I'm glad
It
you're able to
works.
use
No,
those
it
things.
works for you. I mean, I don't know if you consider your skin oily. My skin is dry, like extreme dry. So my life goal or skin goal is always hydration. Is
I
that is what I go for. Like whatever will keep it hydrated, I just like to do it. And I have finally reached a stage in life when I feel like my skin is not flaky or doesn't feel like from inside you feel that dryness. It doesn't feel anymore. So whatever I do is working. And that's what it's all
Absolutely.
about.
That is the beauty of it, because I think our skin is also able to adapt to our routines and our lifestyle. So it works both ways. You want to help the skin and skin wants to help you, and so it works. Well, all right. So morning routine done.
Do you want to talk about the big four that actually works?
I can talk about only the things that I have used, honestly, because, like I said, I am mostly a sunscreen fan. That's what I have used in my face since I turned, I guess, 17 or 18. It has worked for me. And I am not a big fan of doing anything. To be honest, by the way, does vitamin C fall under Big Four?
Yes. So sunscreen, there is retinoids, there's vitamin C and exfoliants. So these are the big four. So vitamin C is a different category if that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So what I can talk about are two, sunscreen and retinoids.
Okay.
So sunscreen I already explained. I've tried to use physical sunscreen, chemical sunscreen. I have used sunscreens that have, like forgetting the word, like which have some color in them, because for darker skin tone that also gives further protection. But typically those sunscreens don't work for me because they give me either a chalky appearance or a yellow appearance, and so I prefer no cast sunscreens now, and just call it a day. And they are very, very strong sunscreens, like heavily rated in terms of UVA and UVB protections. And then the other thing is, I haven't used vitamin C. I used once. I did not like it on my skin. I don't know. It could have done something. I never proceeded to experiment more. And then exfoliants. I mean, if you call like using my fingers to rub my face exfoliating,
I mean,
that
that's gentle exfoliation. Yes. I mean, I do a more intense one, but that is exfoliation. You are literally, rubbing your skin, letting the dead cells,
right.
get removed. So yeah.
Yeah, and I do not use any exfoliant cream or anything. Whatever is my morning cleanser, I add my morning cleanser on my face, and I like make sure I clean my face with it, and that's the extent of my exfoliation. Um, However, I have tried retinoids before, so that's something I don't really use a lot anymore. But I remember like when I was starting college, right? And that was when I was 18 or 19 or something like that. And again, for our viewers, that was like 25 years back. Um, I had some acne as I was going to college, was not able to take care of my skin. And then, I got a prescription of, at that time, Retin-A as something that helps with acne. And so I used Retin-A for a few years, I guess like into my early 20s, and then I stopped. But I did notice, again, I was so young. So it's not like Retin-A had any noticeable benefits in terms of aging or not aging. I just used it for acne and it stopped my acne. So, and I've not really had any major acne since then. So I'm going to assume like it really worked really well for acne. And after that, it was off and on. I got pregnant with my son. So I stopped using and then I forgot to use it. And then one fine day, I was like, hey, I'm about to turn 40. Should I try Retin-A again? And that's how I again used. So it has been like a couple of years here and there sprinkled. And now I found out about something called retinol, which is right like you have retinal and retinol, and the A and the O, and the retinal absorbs slightly faster on the skin. So I've tried to look for some brands which might have retinal, but I do not want to experiment with just pure of that on my face, so I do moisturize heavily with it. So my way of using retinoid based products is use that with heavy moisturizer. But I'm sure, like having seen retin-A's benefit years back, for those who use it, I'm sure it's a very, very effective ingredient for skincare.
Yeah, I have been using retinol with the
Mm,
O for
mm.
like 5 years now, and I started when Vikram was like 2 or 3, when I had time to experiment and do all of that. So, and it's not recommended when you're pregnant or when you're breastfeeding. And I don't know if I feel good. I feel like my skin is not drying. I think there's a practice period or adjustment period of like a month where you have to go like really slow and alternate days when you're the first time using any of these products. And I finally, after 1 month, my skin got used to it, and as you said, I pair it with a very heavy moisturizer, and I do it like religiously every night. I have like at my night desk, and then I also have a travel one when I'm traveling because I'm so disciplined about that this product. So retinol really works for me, and it is one of the gold standards for anti-aging on the like tropical level. I don't know if this really helps, but I really like it, so I'll highly recommend it. Yeah.
I will add a few things that, and the thing is, I'm one of those people who research the heck out of anything that I will use on my body or on my skin. So when I was prescribed Retin A when I was 17 or 18, obviously it was medically prescribed, and I followed doctor's order to a T. And that dermatologist was amazing. He was like, "Hey, you're using something very powerful," because he knew like I'm young, I'm going to college, and if he's not going to instruct me, I'm not going to follow it. It's like, this is a powerful thing. It'll help you with your acne, but make sure to use sun protection. And in those days in India, sunscreen was not a it's not known. I don't even remember seeing it in shelves the way we see it now. So he actually also prescribed me a sunscreen. So I had a really strong sunscreen. And that's how I learned about sunscreen at the age of 17 or 18, because that doctor prescribed me a sunscreen along with the retin-A. I was like, oh, sunscreen must be very important if the doctor prescribed it. And so now you understand my obsession. Like
Oh,
I am like a fan of sunscreen and hats. I mean, in India in those days, there was no hat. We had umbrellas, but he was like, always protect your skin because you're applying retin-A. And his rationale was retin-A makes you more sensitive, like more photosensitive. So always make sure that you do the protection, or you'll probably harm your skin even more. So I was very careful. And I did realize that initially when I used it, because my skin had not been exposed to anything at all, I used to apply nothing on my skin. It used to peel like crazy, even though I was so young and my skin was so young. And it was so embarrassing because I was in college. And I remember it used to peel, and I didn't even know the idea of you could put moisturizer on top, because I followed the literal leaflet instruction which said, do not put anything before or after, and keep your, whatever it told me, I did. But the thing is, it did, like my acne went away so quickly because I followed it, doctor's orders to a T. And so my point being, yes, it will peel if you stick with it, or if you're able to stick with it. It has benefits, but it does. I peeled
it
for a
does
while.
harm.
I would apply sunscreen. I would go out in the day, and I would have like peel. I'm like, oh my god, it looks so bad. But
I know.
fortunately, I was not that vain then, so I'm like, okay, I'll just do it. But yeah, emphasizing again that it is something, it can be pretty strong.
Yeah.
So being careful with it.
I remember I started using retinol during COVID times, and thankfully we didn't have to go out. So I was at home, but the peel was aggressive, and I couldn't understand how my skin and my skin has always been low maintenance, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like I never had to do a lot to maintain my skin. I take care of myself, but I never had pimples or like acne, so I don't know the pain of that. But the first time when my skin started peeling because of retinol, which is normal by the way, I was like, oh my God, what is happening? It was a big change for me. But I also want to apologize to you. And now finally, I've understood why you used umbrella, you put sunscreen and hat. And for like, 10, 15 years back, I remember making so much fun of you. And now I am obsessed with sunscreen. And I mean, growing up in India, I mean, you got exposed to it when you were 16, 17. I never did. So I never wore sunscreen. Sunscreen was not a part of our culture. I don't think Ma ever told us to wear sunscreen. I used to go to Goa and I used to spend so much time in sun. So I have done so much damage. I don't think it's clear on the camera because of my makeup. You cannot see it, but I have like sunspots on my cheeks. So that is a damage I've done, but there's nothing to undo that damage. But the least thing I can do is I can take preventative measures, and sunscreen is a part of that preventative measure. And one other thing that I do is, because I live in Texas, I also wear UV protection gloves when I drive. So it's a part of skin protection. I mean, it's not face, but it's still skin, because the sun comes like straight at you, and you have sunscreen here. I put here the sunscreen on my arms, but when you drive with your hand on the steering wheels, my hand would get like totally burned. I was like, what is happening? This is going to age my hand so much faster than everything. So anyway, those gloves, there are like UV protection gloves, and that has really helped. So that is another part of my
This
skincare.
is such a good thing to share because I kid you not, I have been diligent about sunscreen on my face, my neck, and whatever exposed part of my chest all my life. And of course, I wear hat and stuff, but I've never put sunscreen on my feet or my hands or any other part of my body, no matter what. And you can absolutely tell the difference.
Really?
And there is no undoing it. I'm like, fine, it's fine. It's just showing my age. It's okay. It's okay. There's nothing I can do. Sometimes you have to let go. But there is a there's a distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I know you said you don't really put vitamin C, so I'll touch on it because I have been putting vitamin C serum every single morning for last 5 years without fail. It helps with brightness, and when I'm consistent with it, I do feel like my skin looks alive. And if I skip a couple of days, it does look like my skin feels tired. And vitamin C is one of the most like studied antioxidants for skin. It helps with collagen. It defends against like sun damage and pollution over time. It is known to fade dark spots. I haven't seen it, but research shows. But if you have damage like I do on my cheekbones, it just helps. Like as I mentioned, it's preventative. Nothing can undo it until you go the laser treatment, but it really helps. So those are things. And I spoke about exfoliant. I know you're more of a gentle type, and I use it too. Like I think we talked about an Ayurveda episode that we use some natural like turmeric and sugar and honey. So those are like natural scrubs that we have used. But there's also more like glycosic acid that I use. Those are like pads. Those are small cotton pads that are dipped in glycolic acid and lactic acid, and they exfoliate. And then there are some things in it that also is hydrating. So that really helps. But the thing about using exfoliant is that the fresh layer underneath your skin becomes more vulnerable to UV damage. So you have to be even more religious, like diligent about wearing sunscreen. So that's the thing about using
And that's
exfoliant.
why I haven't gone to that territory. I mean, anyway, I'm obsessed with preventing sun damage. And if I've started using retinol, it affects the skin. And I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to use a chemical exfoliant, I'll have to be even more careful. But I may move into chemical exfoliant, some of the chemical exfoliant at some point, depending upon where my skin goes with age. But so far, I truly mostly believe in sunscreen, some retinol, and moisturizing.
Okay. All right. So next section, we did want to share about few things that have genuinely like moved the needle for us, and I have a product and few other
I
things.
actually, sorry, I have a question for you on the vitamin C because I remember, like, I think I was visiting you and you had one of those vitamin C serums and you were like, hey, try it out. And I tried. And for a minute, of course, I got the glow. I think for the whole day, I got the glow. But the second day I put in, I could feel like my face is more orange. Um, and then I was like, and of course, then I researched the heck out of
Mhm.
it. And then I read like for some skin tones, like the darker skin tones, it how do you say it oxidizes in the sun,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then it makes your skin look orange. And that was one of the main reasons I stopped using is because I couldn't find a brand that wouldn't turn orange on my skin. As I'm like, what's the point? uh,
Oh,
I guess
okay.
it does not do that for you.
Oh yeah, so I will share the name of the products on our website. So I mean, again, if it worked for me, doesn't mean it'll work for you. Clearly, it
Exactly, did not work for me. Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
So yeah, but that's a point. It does oxidize. So it's like one of the recommendation for vitamin C is don't stock up. like when you buy the product, it's like don't keep a stock of it because the life of vitamin C serum isn't long. So I'm assuming that has to do with it.
Yeah, it oxidizes on my skin though. It was a brand new vitamin C. And
Oh
when I
no.
apply it on my, that's what I meant. That's what I mean. I look orange. So I took your sunscreen, which was new. Sorry, your vitamin C, which was new. And after applying it, it was oxidizing on my skin. Now,
Hmm.
maybe it's all in my brain, but
It
it was
is, it
visible.
is
It was visible.
glowy. Yeah, okay. Maybe I, yeah. Doesn't happen for me, so cannot.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. Different skin
Okay.
tones. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on to some of the real game changers for us. So I know we both will want to certainly talk about sleep and workout. So why don't you start with, has sleep anything to do with? So these are not products, these are not procedures, these are literally habits, and these are the free things that we don't talk about, like the marketing doesn't talk about. But this is real game changer for skin.
100%. I honestly have been of the mind that if you feed your inside well, and if you are feeling well, your skin will show. But that does not mean that if you are not going to put moisturizer and sunscreen on your face, it will not show. It will still show. So I like to combine both of that. I actually follow Dr. Dre, who's a very popular dermatologist. And she has this recommendation. And it made me feel so happy when she said that. She's like, if you do nothing else, just wash your face, apply sunscreen and some moisturizer at night. You'll be fine as long as you feed yourself well and take rest. And that is my philosophy in life, which is I have noticed if I'm able to keep myself physically healthy, like my gut feeling good, I have exercise, like essentially, if I wake up and I'm feeling good, it's a good sign. I must have eaten well last night and last day. And then my day starts well and I eat and drink, water well. I almost not almost. I just don't have any drinks except water and coffee once a day, and that's black coffee. So I have no sugary drink, no alcohol, no tea, with milk or sugar and things like that. And maybe it has helped my skin. Impossible to tell, but that has been my routine. And then I eat a lot of vegetables and fruits and things like that. I did have a heavy sugar eating habit even until a few years back, and my skin has suffered like I can tell for the past 2 or 3 years I have cut down on my sugar intake heavily, still not given it up but cut down heavily. And I feel so much better that if I eat sugar like a couple of 2 or 3 days at a stretch, I don't feel good. So those are the signals that my body has given me, and my skin has essentially has given me. I'll tell you another thing, because I almost don't eat sugar anymore, or too much carbs anymore, or bread and stuff. If I do that, first of all, my gut will feel bad and I will feel horrible. Sometimes I get, even at this age, at 45, I will get a random pimple. And I'm like, oh, it was the sugar. Because, like, you cannot explain it with anything else. It'll just come out. And so, like, there is a direct signal from your body of what your body does not want or has been trained not to want. So, all of that, of course, sleep is very, very important. I like to sleep a lot, but also I'm not disciplined. I'm not disciplined like you are. But if I'm able to get my good night's sleep, I will sleep. I will take my rest. So all of that is very important. And yeah, water is important. I can't think of anything else that I do inside that would have helped me. But I strongly believe that feeling good on the inside, along with healthy skin protection and nurturing, is the game changer. And then I always remind myself I can do every single thing in the world and I will age. Wrinkles will come. I will look older, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, skincare is not to reduce wrinkles. Skincare is just, I mean, in my mind, skincare is just to feel good when you look. I mean, wrinkle is unavoidable, right? I mean, unless,
Unavoidable.
yeah, I mean, I've never had issues with like wrinkles. But my goal in life is just to take care of what I have, like whatever has been gifted to me or whatever, I've been privileged to live this long. I just want to take care of it. And yes, sleep is the biggest like game changer for skin, and it's proven. Like cortisol, your stress hormone peaks when you do not sleep, and high cortisol shows up on your face within 48 hours, like inflammation, dullness, breakout that you said, loss of glow. So sleep, I mean, I have talked about my, my sleep discipline for a while. And off late, I've also started using mouth taping for deeper sleeping. And that is forces you to have nasal breathing that filters the air, humidifies it, and produces nitric oxide, which actually improves the circulation and oxygen uptake. So I just feel I wake up better because I have a longer length of deep sleep. And obviously I track, so that's how I know. I mean, that's another problem with me. But my face in the morning feels less fluffy. That means I sleep better. So sleep is obviously related to better skin. And you talked about eating well. I mean, I don't think we have to speak more on that. Eating well is a must. And workout, you missed out on your workout, how important that is. Like sweating is for skincare, right? That helps. So like lymphatic drainage from the movement, the cortisol regulation, exercise does more, I think, for our face and our skin than half of the products that we are buying. So I know you probably believe that because you're big into strength training these days.
Yeah, I definitely think exercise is key to just our overall health, which then reflects in our skin. And I also like to be gentle with my body because if I overindulge in, say, cardiovascular exercises or even strength training, if I basically overindulge in anything that is do not listen to my body, it is going to have the opposite effect of what I intended. So, and that will also reflect on my skin. So, by that, what I mean is like, if I cannot do 20 minutes of strength training, well, I'm going to do 10 minutes. If I am sweating so much and my legs start hurting and I'm still running, I'm going to fall sick the other day, so I may as well not do it. So it's just about balance. And my philosophy in life is listen to the body, listen to the body. And so in the morning I have to do my gentle stretches and yoga and a little bit of meditation, and just to be like, okay, what's my body saying today? How am I feeling today? And that just, I don't know, that really makes me feel good.
Mhm. Yeah, you don't really sweat, do you?
I do not know what to do about it,
No,
honestly.
it's good. I'm not saying it in a sarcastic way. I mean, I think you have hot flashes at night. That's a different kind of
I
sweating.
know that is the first time I have started sweating because I can exercise all I want unless I am drip, like I'm in the hot sun and like facing the hot sun. If I exercise a lot, I've seen how much you sweat. I don't sweat, and that I used to think is a big problem for me, but now I sweat at night, so problem solved.
I mean, you're still building muscles. It's just that I always, we both are doing, and for our audience, we both are doing the same kind of workout. And I'm huffing and puffing, and I feel like my whole hair is wet. I'm sweating. And she has her hair open, all lovely. There's a glow on her face. It's not a drop of skin. And she's doing those dumbbell things. And I'm like, what is this woman? How is she? How is she not sweating? That was so weird.
So weird. Anyway.
For our next segment, we wanted a quick, honest beat on procedures because we know that our listeners are wondering, like, what about Botox and fillers and lasers and all of that? So, Neha, why don't you tell your version?
Oh, good Lord. I'm gonna get philosophical, which I'm sure nobody is interested in listening to, but
Just say, well, like, what is your take on Botox filler? Like, how do you feel about it? Would you let's say, would you ever go for it?
would I ever go for it? Impossible to say. Impossible to say because I have learned never to say never. But my current take on any procedure is it is a slippery slope. So first of all, I do not get any procedures done, like absolutely nothing. Um, and it's a slippery slope because you will never be satisfied with what you have. It's the same thing with strength training and exercises. My abs are not only not flat, they there are no abs. I got a pouch, right? And all the exercise in the world will not say not remove that pouch. And I'm like, if I try for it, I'm pretty much gonna fall sick trying for it and live my life in agony. And that's the way I approach skincare as well. I'll do what is in the realm of, not overdoing it and not spending too much time. And it is my realm. It is the life I live. So if certain folks, whether they're celebrities or not, they want to use them, and they feel good about it, and or their job requires it, or whatever their social life requires it, and they're okay with continuing to build upon it, great. I just don't want to indulge myself into something right now which will make me feel insecure because I just worry that it'll make me feel. Same reason why I don't put makeup. I mean, I put some makeup and then when I remove makeup, I'm like, but who's the real me? I know I told you I'll get philosophical.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God, who is
is
that? That's a real like behind the makeup, with the makeup. It's you. It's
it
that's
is
and
it
again,
is
I know you. I know how you think, and that's why I wanted to say. But it's always real you. Even if you use Botox now and tomorrow you're like, oh my, that's too much work, and you see a few wrinkles. That's still you.
that
It's
is
like
still me. But then the me is changing as I am adding more how do I say adding more layers to what I'm seeing or what I perceive myself to be. That is the thing. And you're right. And you're right. Like if I color my hair, oh, I don't see gray hair. Is that me or not? It's very artificial and it's very convoluted. And I've not formed a firm opinion, which is why I'm like, never say never. But right now, my opinion is I don't want to go for something that is that invasive,
Mhm.
that high maintenance, and something that may potentially make me feel more insecure. So that's my stance right now.
Okay, all right. I'll keep mine short. There's no philosophical thing behind what I'm gonna say. I don't get any Botox filler yet, but I'm totally open to it. Or down the line, if I find like a derm I trust, and in tiny doses in specific spots, I'm totally open to it. Some of my friends get it done, so I've seen people around me get it done, and I'm perfectly fine with going that route later in my life or whenever I want. I mean, I don't think I ever have to explain this to anybody, but if I feel ready, I'll just go for it. One thing I'm really curious about is microneedling. Do you know what it is?
Hmm.
Yeah, microneedling is a treatment where a device with very fine needles create like tiny control punchers in your skin, and your skin responds by producing new collagen as it heals, which is what improves texture, fine lines, and scar over time. It is all over, but I don't want to, pursue any trend. So I'm going to do my due diligence, and I'm like, is it worth it? Do I need to go that route because it's a little bit of couple of days of recovery times? Like, do I have the bandwidth for it? Anyway, I'm open to that too. So just putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to put it out there or don't even have to explain or tell anybody anything. We're doing this because we obviously are very transparent. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not for anybody else that I am making a decision. It is entirely me having a talk with myself, me looking at our mom and thinking, she looks amazing. She looks amazing. She's going to be 70. She looks close to she's going to be 70. She looks amazing as a 70. Can I be okay looking the age I am? I cannot tell you whether I will be or not. But I hope I have that kind of acceptance. And that is why I keep it like super open ended for the future. But right now, I'm like, I'm in a state where I'm feeling very, very happy. And that's it.
I do get diamond glow facial every month. So obviously this is a non-invasive thing, but it is a three-step facial. The step one is gentle exfoliation with like a diamond tip wand that lifts off the dead skin, and next step is gentle extraction that gently suctions that pulls out like clogged debris. The third step is just my favorite, which is like serum infusion, and I choose like hydrating serum or brightening serum. So it is literally a facial with like a fancy equipment, but I buy joy with it. So that's the money I pay to feel good, sit in a spa, get a massage on the face. So that feels good. And I think that helps. That's kind of my self care thing. Yeah.
It's awesome. All right, let's get into a little bit more serious topic about, how skincare often is on a certain segment of population, at least the most popular ones. And you and I being brown skin tone, we've seen the challenges of brown skin tone. And are there enough products that have been appropriately tested on brown skin and help brown skin?
Yeah.
So those are very tough questions to answer, of course. But I do know, like as a brown skin person, some of our challenges is beyond what a lighter skin person faces, right? Like at least my skin, my brown skin tone. And by the way, brown skins also have a lot of different tones, and you probably respond differently to different things. For me, if I'm in the sun or and all, like my problems are, I guess I might get wrinkles. I'm not sure, but it will also cause those spots and skin color change, like patchy skin color change, which is just a hard thing to then undo. So that is a real challenge. What else? Like you've already mentioned the spots, right? I also have, like, you have far more than I do, but I also have some spots growing around my face. So I know our mom has, and so sun, in spite of all my sun protection, it is happening. So there you are. What else do you think? Those
Yeah,
are
I
the
think our skin is more reactive, and I'm not saying it's like bad or weak, it's more reactive. And as you mentioned, like any inflammation, like any pimple, scratch, harsh product, even too much time in the sun, it just leaves the dark spot, and there's nothing we can do about it. And that is very, I think, prominent in non-white skin tone. And Vikram, like Vikram is 7, and he, I mean, whatever sunscreen he puts in school, I don't know how much. He always says, "Oh, Mama, I rub sunscreen." I don't think he's doing it because every time we go to the doctor, uh, his doctor is concerned because he has white spots on his skin, and that is a sun damage, or like because of the color of his skin, it becomes more prominent. Even though other kids are in the sun, probably same as he is, but his skin shows it a little differently. It shows up like white spots. So what I'm trying to say is like every skin tone reacts to things differently. And I think for us, as you mentioned, anti-aging is more anti-pigmentation. And this is like brown skin, like age less in wrinkles and more in dullness, dark spots. And that's why like anti-aging industry is largely built around wrinkles. And a lot of these products are not built with our skin tone in mind. But I think the world is changing. I mean, now the good news is that last couple of years, I have been able to find a lot of products in the market that is specifically formulated for our skin and our needs. Even you mentioned like sunscreen that you use is non white cast. Like if you remember 10 years back, we wouldn't couldn't find a sunscreen that wouldn't make us look like a white layer on our skin. So things are changing. So that's great.
absolutely, yeah. So, and you were so right about, I missed that part, which is our skin. How do I say? Like it's wounded. If it gets wounded, the mark stays far longer and sometimes becomes permanent depending on how much care you're able to take of it. And it just keeps building on it, and then over time it expands to change color. So those make your skin look not only different but also dull. And I think dullness is another thing that you correctly pointed out, which I think with the brown skin tone, that is a problem because some of the skin tone that is drier and brown can look duller, and over time and with sun damage, it just starts looking drier and therefore duller. And so those are the areas where, our skincare could have helped, at
Mhm.
least the brown skin tone.
All right, let's touch on self-worth, and I think you have touched on it throughout the episode because you are like a big believer in keeping things simpler and listening to yourself. But like, what is skincare? Is it for your skin, or do you think it's for your self-worth?
It's absolutely tied to self-worth. I mean, I cannot sit here and lie and say, oh, for to be able to record this episode with you, I did not get up and think, oh, this is what I want to wear, this is how I want to look, this is the lipstick shade I want to put. I thought of that and I made a solid attempt to look as presentable as I can be. And all of that ties to the self-worth and to a great extent how we grew up, which is try to look as best as you can. Now, could I have looked better than this? Absolutely. If I had done far more on my face, far more with my hair, I'm hoping I would have looked better, not worse. What I'm trying to say is there is no end to it. And
Yeah.
that is the only thing that I tie to whatever I'm doing, which is yes, everything we do is for our survival and for us to thrive and for our self worth. But if you don't draw a line to what is self worth mean, ultimately it is you and your body and your own universe. Absolutely couldn't care less what others think. But we live in a real world. People are watching, people will comment, and how much are you able to take it and how much do you want to be presentable and be able to defend it? It all boils down to it. So I honestly only have advice for myself on this, and I keep recalibrating what I want all the time. And I keep thinking about, I remember sharing this with you about Sophia Loren, who was one of the biggest movie stars, right? And I think she said in some interview somewhere, and she's a big movie star at that time already. She's like, every now and then, and exceptionally gorgeous, right? And every now and then she said, I would not work and I would sit down and I would contemplate and ask myself, what is it that I want from my life? What am I trying to do? Where am I going? and act accordingly. And this is so important. Like for her to even ask that question, no need. Nobody will probably, very few people will ever reach the place that she has. And she had an understanding to go back and ask herself that. So that's what I try to do, just like, how am I feeling? Is it okay? Do I need to do something? If the answer is yes, I will. If the answer is no, I'll be fine. And I keep checking on myself. But that's my definition of self-worth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I'm the high maintenance or high routine sister here. Like grooming is genuinely like how I feel. Like I'm not, I don't think I'm doing anything for approval, but yes, I do care. I do care about makeup. That is how I express myself. I do care about fashion, about clothes. I do care about skincare, about being creative. It's fun. It's my playground. But also, if tomorrow I had to stop getting my facial, will I be sad? Yes, I will be sad, but would I be less worthy? I don't think I will be less worthy. I'll still be like happy because I think I've also been able to know that my self-worth is tied to how I show up for my kid, what kind of a friend I am, what kind of a wife I am, what kind of contribution I'm making to the society, or what kind of work I'm doing. So I think I'm old enough to have that distinction of what is too much, as you mentioned, like what is a balance. So yeah, I don't think I live in a delusional world.
No, absolutely not. And like that is the thing. I know we are pretty much contrasted in how we approach it, but the goal is the same.
Yeah.
What is giving us joy? And as long as that definition of joy keeps us healthy and happy, who is there to judge? I would never judge you. I admire the fact that you are able to. For me, the biggest challenge with makeup is, and you will laugh at this. I'm like, first of all, I have to put makeup and take all the trouble. Then I have to take that off and take all the trouble to take it off and then do skincare. It's too much. I'm like, it's a lot out of laziness as much as out of that discussion with myself on self-worth, and you take the trouble, which is great. So I mean, and a lot more people take even more trouble, which is, I mean, I guess great for them. What I worry about generally is, what is the world's applauding and associating with, say, a woman, that could have negative biases on the other parts of our life. Like, a woman should always look perfectly made up no matter the situation, is a very big thing to ask. And we have discussed this cultural problem and sexism problem a lot. But that's where it goes beyond self-worth into, you know, then self-worth gets very different meaning, because it's beyond what you think. It's what the filtered views or the made up faces are telling you. And then yeah, it gets complicated.
All right, let's close it with a 5 question exercise that anybody can do tonight for their own skincare without like the marketing noise. So, all right, Neha, what is your one real skin goal?
My one real skin goal is to prevent as much sun damage as I can, and therefore prevent hyperpigmentation and dryness.
All right. So, I mean, the people can ask themselves is like, do they want fewer breakouts, less dryness, less hyperpigmentation, less redness, or just feel clean and comfortable in your skin? So they can pick one thing
Yeah,
and then they can choose a product and solve that problem. Like everything else is a noise. Just pick one real skin goal that you have. And fortunately, in this world of consumerism, there is one product that will cater to your need. All right.
absolutely. Okay. All
Go
right.
ahead.
So second question for you. So this is the second of the five
Mhm.
question series. What can you realistically do every day?
All right. So I think that this is where realistically that we were just talking about came in. What is realistic for me might not be realistic for you, and not the routine you fantasize about. It's a routine that you will actually do in the chaos of your real morning. Like morning, whether it's cleansing, moisturizing, sunscreen, night cleansing, moisturizing, maybe a retinol. Anything more than that doesn't fit your actual life. So if you have a young kid, think of it as maybe a one-step thing. If you have the bandwidth, then maybe it's a 10-step thing. But realistically, in a chaotic day, what is sustainable is something you should think about. All right, then, Neha, let's talk about what are the non-negotiables.
For me, as you know, it has to be sun protection that is tied to using sunscreen, and also hat. I will say this, it may be controversial. I have realized you can put all the sunscreen you want, but if you go in directly in the hot sun, it may still do damage. So I strongly believe in physical protection along with sunscreen, because physical protection sometimes is not enough, things still reflect. So I do have a very wide brim hat, which I know you make fun of, but it is what
I
it
I'm a white rim hat person now that I'm so old.
has. Okay, fine. So I have my wide brim hat and I have my sunscreen, non-negotiable.
All right. And this is what people should go after, right? They need to pick what is their non-negotiable. Like pick one or two pillars that you refuse to skip even on the worst day. And for you, it's like sunscreen and hat. For me, is also sunscreen, hat, and sunglasses, and there might be a few other things. But that's my non-negotiable. People can pick their own.
Okay, okay. All right. So the fourth question is, what are you willing to let go of?
All right. This is the product that stresses you out. The routine that's too long, the pressure to look like filtered in real life, naming what you're willing to give up, the most honest part of this exercise. So, for me, I'll give you a quick example of a couple of years back, I started buying foundation that was full coverage. And like putting a full coverage foundation is hard. It does make your skin look really good. All my, sunspots used to be removed because of that full coverage foundation, but it also used to make my face look cakey. And now I have realized I'm going to let that go. I buy like a really simple light foundation that just gives a glow to my face. You can still see my sunspot, and I made peace with it. So that is what I've let go, and I'm so much happier. All right. And the next one is, where can you bring in joy?
That is a great one. For me, the joy is, like even the task of taking care of my skin at night. I know we did not touch the night routine, which we probably have could have another episode on. Like the things I do at night, like wash my face, double cleanse my face, and apply the moisturizer, and just touch my face and like slightly massage my face. That gives me joy because I am nurturing my skin, I'm taking care of it, and I'm spending time with it. Like I am being grateful for what my skin's doing. So that brings me joy. I know you do more, which makes you
Yeah.
feel happy.
So, you mentioned you do the lymphatic. There's a name for it. Like if you touch your skin, there's like a lymphatic drainage, which, you have touch points on the skin, which helps you feel good. So that's, again, I don't know if it really helps in any way, but it gives you joy, right?
Yeah,
And the same
yeah.
thing for me. Like I have a roller that I roll. I sit on the couch and I roll my face with it. It just feels good at the end of the day. And then I also love a facial if that's in your budget. That also works great. And I also like my weekly mask at night. So anything that brings you joy, I don't know, if even if that's like placebo, if it makes you happy, joy is the whole point. I think that's what we're trying to prove in this episode, that joy is the whole point of skincare.
Absolutely. What else is there in life? So yeah. All
All right.
right. Keeping it real, do you have one honest thing you want to talk about with your skincare?
No, sometimes I overdo it. Sometimes I keep it light. I have a habit of sometimes falling for wellness trends, and I fall for it, and then I'm
Fall for it
curious.
like in a deep black hole. I've
Yes,
seen
yes,
you.
I know. You have seen me fall for. I'm also very curious, so I like to try it. But to try a trend takes a lot of energy out of you, and sometimes my priorities shift because I want to try a trend that I realize it was not worth my time. So keeping it real, like I have tried a lot of things, but now I'm in such a place that I have a routine, and I just want to like stick with it. It gives me peace. Even now, sometimes when I'm on social media, and I have learned that whenever I see these trends, I scroll real fast so that I don't so that I don't stop. And as soon as somebody says, "Oh, this is trending. This is the outfit of this season," or "This is what people with best skin are following." Whenever I see those things, I go scroll so fast so that it doesn't come up on my algorithm again, or I'm not influenced by it, because I have a tendency to be influenced by such things. So that is me keeping it real.
And that's why, I mean, I'm gonna sound like, oh, big sister, here comes for the little sister. But this is like just how I get past the trend, whatever makeup video, because there is no end to that, and how many things you can try. And there was a certain age where I did it until I found like dermatologists who are seriously into helping you rather than promoting products or promoting trends. And like I mentioned, Dr. Dre. if I ever, first of all, my skin routine does not change, but if I ever get curious about something, I will go to her channel and I will post that name and I'll be like, what did she say about it? If she's not said anything, it's probably not a good thing. If she said something, I will listen to the whole thing and then she describes it scientifically and the research based. But even that, I just don't take as is. Like, even that, I would then do my own further research and apply and use and accordingly continue or not. So for me, like keeping it real is really like when I see you or when I see all those trends and all those influencers. And the thing is, marketing is such an insidious thing, honestly. It is such an insidious thing that even though your brain's telling, no, that is not the real skin. And even if it is, they might just be born with it. Your heart's telling, if only I could just get that product and apply it, amazing would be the result and how good would I look, right? Back of your mind, that's always happening. And so sometimes when I see you and your photographs and you're like, oh man, I look, because obviously it's not visible in the video, but I have wrinkles, I have spots, and I have all of that thing. And I can see that when I look at myself in the mirror. I have lines developing. I can see that. And I have to make a choice on working at it, letting it go, or preventing it. And I can't, it's like I feel guilty if I let it go. And then I feel guilty if I do too much. I'm like, what am I doing? So the balance is a real struggle. So the time that you spend on trends is the time I spend on thinking. I'm like, what should I do?
That is the introvert in you. All right. And we would love to hear from our audience, right? Like, what is their routine? What is the worst product that they have tried? What is something they wish they started earlier? So please send us a DM at Chocolate and Spice Talk or send us a voice note. We love hearing from you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Bye.
Bye.